Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this or any watch. Today we're discussing a late 1990s Tudor Prince Chronograph Tiger. From the Tiger era, this watch has a serial number that places it somewhere between 1997 and 1998. It's an interesting example of an era when Tudor was beginning to differentiate itself a little bit more from longtime parent company Rolex. The watch that you have here is lively, and it's unusual in a couple of different regards. But in terms of size, it's not that far removed from the Rolex Daytona of the period. So 40 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel, this reference 79270. Measures 14 millimeters thick, and then from lug tip to lug tip, it's 47.7 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. We've got a reference 78400 bracelet with 605 end links. I'll give you a quick look at the inside of the clasp right there so you can verify that. And then the underside of the link right there. Now the case back has long been the practice of Tudor. Solid. Display case backs wouldn't come in for several generations, but this watch is robustly made. You can see how the bracelets were being built at the time. A sort of vintage approach to making pivoted end link, folded center links, or hollow center link bracelets. And it's an interesting thing to encounter in the modern era, but the watch itself is a very robust block-like brick of steel. So the watch feels very modern, but the bracelet feels very vintage. Taking a quick look now, the watch sits easily on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. It's not super thick. Most of the thickness of the case back is sort of in a cup-like profile. So once it's down and sized, it's going to sit a little bit lower. It should be fine with most shirt sleeves and certainly with jacket cuffs. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference. Let's move away a little bit, get a sense of scale. I would recommend this for a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference, partly due to the pivoted end links of the bracelet. It's just no larger than the lug-to-lug of the case itself. A lot of signs of the way we were back in the late 90s. We've got strap tool holes in the lugs. We have those pivoted end links. We have those hollow center links. We do have removable links fixed by screws, so that's quite welcome, but we have a relatively thin gauge stamped clasp that you can see that it remains excellent. The stampings are all well pronounced and beautifully preserved against the ravages of time, as is the snappiness of the closure. You can hear it. I can feel it. I can attest that it's there. We have several divots drilled in pairs, so you can use your strap tool to dismount the bracelet and move it in and out to fine-tune the fit. There's the Tudor shield, still quite pronounced, well-defined, and deep, as you can see from all these different angles. Rolling around the case, 100-meter water resistance. You can see the crown profile. Still a triplock style, triple dot steel crown. Screw down crowns, screw down chronograph pushers, bidirectional rotating 12-hour bezel. That is something that makes it quite distinct from any Rolex Daytona, both the use of hours and the fact of its rotation, but being bidirectional, it is not a diving bezel. We have a true tritium dial here, both hands and the indices on the dials. This is the original dial, and if you've always loved those mango dial Zenith El Primeros, well, this is going to hit the spot. It really appeals from the same place. I think it touches the same place in the human soul. It's just lively and fun. There is a little bit of initial glow when you turn the lights out, but you can see how quickly that fades. It is genuine symmetrical hand and dial factory tritium. A lovely lacquer with blackened Arabic numerals. You can see there's a couple of red accents here, which it exploits quite well. The combination of black and yellow and red on a dial, not something you see too often. We do have a Cyclops eye magnifier on a sapphire crystal. Underneath the case back, we have a Valjoux 7750. Quite simply, that's what it is. Unidirectional automatic winding, 42-hour power reserve, 25 joules, 4 hertz beat rate. The watch features a quick set date and hacking seconds, and it also features a reasonably crisp cam-based function selector, and because it has a lateral clutch, but that lateral clutch is actually an oscillating pinion, there's very little stagger or secondary movement to the chronograph seconds hand when you start the chrono. That is the advantage of an oscillating pinion. It has very little inherent play. We often take the 7750 for granted, but the fact is Every 7750 has the oscillating pinion. Today, de Bethune, Richard Mille, F. Pigeon have all rediscovered that mechanism, making it seem almost elite. Kind of fun to know that you can get it in a humble 7750. An honest, handsome, and well-preserved example of a watch from an era when Tudor was really beginning to spread its wings and separate itself from Rolex. It wouldn't relaunch internationally for quite a few years after this watch was made, but it's a great snapshot of Tudor watchmaking progress in the late 90s, and it now qualifies as what some might call neo-vintage. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.